Well, here we are. This is the all-new Canyon Ultimate road bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you some of the likes and dislikes when it comes to this specific Canyon Ultimate CF7 Di2 Aero road bike. As you can see, it's an absolute mouthful of names when Canyon is naming their bikes, but this is the standard stuff from Canyon. Okay, so as you can see, this is the all-new, let's call it 2025-2026 Canyon Ultimate, and this specific model, CF7 Di2 Aero, has a retail price of $4,500 or 3,750 British pounds. When it comes to the Canyon Ultimate bikes, I mean, it's an absolute legendary platform from Canyon. So this is their all-in lightweight climbing bike. And in this iteration, this is the 5th iteration of the bike, they've incorporated some of the aerodynamically optimized, pieces on the bike. So definitely this is the trend of all these lightweight climbing bikes, that they are slowly gaining some of the aerodynamically optimized components to go as fast as possible. So first thing first, who is this bike for? So Canyon Ultimate platform, you always have to think about it as a lightweight climbing machine with a little bit of aero tweaks here and there. So in my opinion, the whole focus of this bike should be on the lightweight climbing machine, and I don't mind that the whole carbon fiber frame and the fork will be a bit on the stiffer side compared to, let's say, Canyon Endurace bikes. So just keep that in mind when evaluating or shopping for this bike. I'll just mention here briefly, when you look at the US market, you only have one paint scheme on offer. It's a beautiful teal paint scheme. Definitely reminds me a lot of the Specialized Tarmac SL8 paint scheme. But if you are in Europe, you also have this other totally white paint scheme. Again, a beautiful addition to the paint scheme in Europe. I don't know why Canyon didn't include this paint scheme also for the US market, but probably, there are some limitations with, is it a supply chain or whatever there is manufacturing, why there's only one paint scheme for the US market. Okay, so let's dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what are some of the main likes and dislikes for this bike. So starting with the frame and the fork on this bike. So this is the Canyon's CF-SL carbon fiber frame and the matching fork. As you can see here, all the cables are internally routed. There are 12mm through axles front and the back. It comes with the press fit PF86 bottom bracket. Excellent stuff, no complaints here. And I have to mention here that Canyon offers a 6 years warranty on carbon fiber frames, forks, handlebar, the seat post, basically everything that is manufactured by Canyon. It is a decent warranty. Of course, I wish at some point Canyon would move to the lifetime warranty, let's say on their frames and forks. That would be very nice, but 6 years warranty should be more than enough on these levels of carbon fiber frames and the forks. As I was mentioning, this is not creme de la creme carbon fiber frame and the fork. This is the third level. So above this you can have CF SLX, and then you can have the CFR. But I always like to see the lowest levels of the bikes that manufacturers are doing, because that tells you a lot about, the way of thinking they have applied to this new Canyon Ultimate platform. Because after all, this is the 5th generation, so in my opinion they should have ironed all the little things that, were bothering me in the previous generations. Okay, so carbon fiber frame fork, as I was saying, CFSL, totally fine, no special complaints here. Also, I'll just mention here carbon fiber seat post from Canyon. excellent stuff. They are well known for absorbing a lot of road bumps with their seat posts, so absolutely fine. And in this iteration, as far as I'm aware, this is a bit of D-shaped, aerodynamically optimized seat post, so just again, keep that in mind. Saddle, this is the Selle Italia. Personally, I like Selle Italia products. If you don't, it's going to be very easy to replace this saddle. There's nothing special, nothing proprietary. Speaking about proprietary solutions, okay, let's talk about this handlebar and the stem. So this is the one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem, and this also comes with the specific pace solution from Canyon. So this is basically where this one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem, you can adjust the height at about 20 millimeters, and you can adjust the width, as you can see here, at about 50 millimeters. Very nice, very neat solution. I haven't heard any special complaints about it, so at least you can, adjust a bit of the positioning on the bike. And again, very nice, because when you are choosing your specific frame size, of course, the handlebar width and the stem length will be fixed, because this is a one-piece handlebar and the stem, but at least Canyon is sorting it with their pace system, as you can see here on their little video that they have provided. So all in, again, perfectly fine. No complaints from me when it comes to their one-piece pace handlebar system on this Canyon bike. Okay, moving on to the group set on the bike. So what are you getting for your hard-earned money? So this group set is the Shimano's 105 electronic group set. So 12-speed group set, shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything Shimano 105 Di2, no cutting corners here. Also this crankset, Shimano 105 crankset, as you can see, double chainrings at the front, and these are the 5236 chainrings, and then paired with the beautiful cassette 1134, so you can definitely attack steep mountains, you can definitely spend long days in the saddle, totally fine. And the chain, a classical Shimano's 12-speed chain. Of course, I would advise you here in the future, when replacing the chain, definitely stick with any Shimano 12-speed compatible chain, because you are running here on this bike the Shimano's 12-speed group set. So this Shimano 105 Di2, proper workhorse with electronic group sets from Shimano, absolutely no complaints here from me. I will mention a small detail here. I was expecting or hoping that this bike would come with some kind of power meter. Let's even call it, a single-sided 4-eye power meter. But be aware that this specific model CFSL 7 Di2 doesn't come with the power meter. The higher versions of the bike, as I saw, CFR, CFSLX, they would come with a power meter. Okay, looking at the braking system on the bike, this is the Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes, front and the back, with the matching Shimano 105 braking rotors, front and the back. All of this perfectly fine, no complaints here. At the front, 160mm rotors, and at the back, you are getting a 140mm rotor. Again, I'll complain here. I have no clue why manufacturers are using this tiny 140mm rotor at the back. I wish that this is a 160mm braking rotor at the back, because the heat dissipation and stopping power is just going to be much better than on this tiny 140mm braking rotor. So something that all manufacturers, in my opinion, should change, because there is no absolutely any weight saving. I mean, these two rotors might, have a weight difference of, 10-15 grams or on that level. So there's nothing absolutely in it. Okay, so this is kind of the main components. And now we come to the wheel set on this bike. And this is where, in my opinion, absolutely everything falls apart, and I just can't understand why Canyon has done it. So okay, this wheel set on the bike is the DT Swiss Arc 1600 D-cut wheel set. So on the face of it, you look at it and you think, wow, DT Swiss wheels, I like DT Swiss wheels. This is a carbon fiber wheel set, 50mm deep, tubeless ready wheel set, everything excellent. DT Swiss, I'm guessing here 350 hubs. I'm saying I'm guessing here because when you look at the DT Swiss ARC 1400 wheelset, a bit more advanced wheelset, this wheelset would come with the DT Swiss 240 hubs. That's why this wheelset on the bike is probably DT Swiss 350 hubs. Okay, I absolutely have no complaints about it, perfectly fine hubs. Maybe even DT Swiss 370, I'm not sure, something to double check with Canyon. But then I had a look at the internal width of this wheelset, and it is 20 millimeters. This is absolutely not acceptable in 2025. It is too narrow, because on this bike, as it is out of the box, you are getting, this is the Schwalbe tire, I believe, Schwalbe 128 millimeter tire, out of the box, front and the back. But in today's world, you definitely want to run 32 millimeter tires on this bike. Why wouldn't you? Excellent air volume, much smoother bike ride, not much in it when it comes to rolling resistance. But this tiny internal rim width on these rims of 20 millimeters is just not acceptable. So I don't know if Canyon has some special deal with DT Swiss and they had to put these DT Swiss wheels on the bike, but I just wish that they maybe approached, let's say, something like reserve wheels. 5263 reserve wheels that also come with DT Swiss 350 hubs on the retail market, $1,800 US. But the key point here with these reserve wheels is, okay, I'll first mention the weight. So the wheel set would be something like 1,660 grams. Also, internally, you will have 25 millimeters and 24 millimeters at the rear. Much more advanced wheel set, much more, future-proof wheel set. It's just, very, very much more, better than that DT Swiss wheels that you are getting out of the box on the Canyon Ultimate CF7 Di2 bike. So this is the biggest letdown, in my opinion, about this bike. And again, when you consider that Canyon is asking $4,500 US for this bike, or as I said, 3,750 British pounds, I just don't know why they would use this old style of DT Swiss wheels. I mean, DT Swiss wheels also have to get a bigger revamp, in my opinion, in 2025, and this is just a no-no, in my opinion. Why would you limit yourself to this wheel set, which is just past, in my opinion? That's history, that's not the future, and DT Swiss should absolutely change this wheel set. As much as I like DT Swiss and recommend DT Swiss many times, this is just not acceptable on this bike. So this would totally, put me off of buying this Canyon Ultimate CF7 Di2 Aero bike, because in my opinion, they just messed it up with the wheel set. And also, when you look at the total system weight of this bike in size medium, it is 8.16 kilograms. Okay, I somehow wish that this is much lighter bike, 7 point something kilograms, but it seems like no, it's still a bit on the heavier side as a proper, lightweight climbing bike. You really have to move to the CF-SLX level or CFR level to get the light bikes, and again, a bit disappointing. So as you can see, two major disappointments, in my opinion, with this bike are that this old school, I would call it, DT Swiss ARC 1600 wheel set should be replaced with, my opinion, for example, a reserve 5263 wheel set. And also, where is the power meter on this bike? I think they should have included at least a single-sided power meter. So some small details here, but I just think they kind of missed the point. Also with the weight of the bike, it's size medium, 8.2 kilograms. It should have been lighter. It just should have been lighter. And even if the price went up a little bit, whatever, $100, $200 US, it would be so much more worth it. So I'll be making more of the videos about the new Canyon Ultimate level of the bikes, and also there's the new Canyon Endurance level of the bikes. But as it is now, with this Canyon Ultimate CF7 Di2 Aero, I definitely wouldn't go for this model. The wheel set really is the big drawback of this bike, and it should have been much more modern wheel set with a better internal rim width, because you want to run 32mm tires on this bike, and on this wheel set it's just going to be so ridiculous if you are running 32mm tires on these narrow rims, that the aerodynamic performance is going to be totally messed up because the tire isn't nicely flush with the wheel set. So yeah, I think this is a missed opportunity from Canyon in this instance, so let's see when I dive into the specs of some other Canyon Ultimate bikes, are they maybe a better, value for money. So, this is gonna be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on, watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers.